Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hera TV. I'm your host, Laleh Hancock, and today I have the great pleasure of introducing one of my new friends, Genevieve Pantin. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Laleh. I'm very, very pleased to be here with you. It was extremely kind for you to ask me to do this interview for Hera TV. Extremely kind of Hera TV as well to be counting on me as one of their tribe, one of their crew. I'm really, really quite pleased to be.
Well, we're very grateful to have you be one of the Hera Advisors, and wanted to share you with the world today. You've got such an incredible background, and I know that you are a trauma therapist. You work with horses, you are an anthropologist, you were a model. Like, you've done a lot of different things that I would say women would say, how can I do that? And be able to share with them kind of a little bit of your journey. I know you have a special story even as a child. So if you want to share that with others.
Yeah, my journey, I think in this time of the world, it's very important that we acknowledge our privileges and consider where our privileges has given us advantages, but also think how we can extend or understand the disadvantages of others to understand how we can support communities, people, individuals. And my privilege in life, it's that I come from a very, very warm, beautiful, loving, strong family, a very, very independent, strong-minded woman. My mother was one of 8, my dad was one of 9. So it was a lot of them. And the way I was brought up in Trinidad is I was truly raised by the village. So we would be disciplined by any one of my aunts. So in my mum's family, it was 6 ladies, 2 boys. We'd be disciplined by any one of my aunts or my uncles. We'd be taken out for days out. We'd be doing our homework together with them. So we lived and we were raised more or less by the community. And I really see this as my privilege. And this is where Hera, I think it's so, so, so beautiful, because the takeaway that I got mostly from Hera that most inspired me to be part of this community is that, you empower the woman and you empower the family. And I had a lot of empowered women in my family. And hence the importance for me spreading the word of empowerment for women.
Well, you've heard the magic of what Hera is creating around the world, and I'm curious, what's your views of Hera City, and maybe not just for today, but also for the future?
So I think of a platform, and I think a platform is only a valid and stable platform when it's equal on both sides. And what I see of Hera City is a very big address of creating that equality. And if you've got a table and you've got to get one leg up, you've got to prop it up a little bit for it to be even, to create that platform. And that's what I see Hera doing with the Hera City. It's a beautifully inspiring, ambitious project where women will be honored. And in honoring the woman, you're honoring the family, and you're creating this more stable platform for humanity. And I find it very beautiful and very ambitious of Hera to do this, to go out there and say, yes, we're going to have an area where women are going to feel it's their space. They can build, they can share their ideas, and they can show the world what we can do when we're together and when we create something more equal. So yeah, so I'm pretty inspired by the Hera City, and I can't wait for the opportunity to visit.
Me too. One of the things that really truly inspired me with Hera City is there's no separation. We are empowering women, but there is separation to the people that can come into the city and be inspired.
Yeah,
you know, be
yeah,
empowered.
yeah.
And yeah, and that brings me
Mm,
to a conversation you and I had last week. You know,
mm,
both of us have been working with lots of women around the world and also men. And
mhm.
was wondering if you could share a little bit about maybe where you are, because your husband has a business, and I love the story of what you were sharing with me, that even being, you know, the key individual, I would say, in the organization, being that it's your husband's organization, yet the things that you had to put in place to make sure that women were also honored and empowered and trained, and that they could be at the table. So maybe you could share a little bit.
Yeah, so I came to my husband's business. We're in the oil and gas sector, which is a very male-dominated industry. And but we actually encourage an environmental responsibility as well, because we monitor the integrity of equipment that's used at the drilling sites to ensure that we minimize the risk of failures. So in this very male-dominated industry, which especially even more male-dominated than the oil and gas industry, the drilling projects, because there are people who often spend months away from home, and we find that perhaps historically that's an easier role to attribute to a man who is not so grounded for the care of the home and the family and the children. But now we're in a place in the world where this is being redressed, and where we have our little part to play, where we've been very fortunate to encourage the employment of women, where we've been in countries where we've actually employed literally the only woman in that sector. And we have also worked with them, running programs to think of not necessarily gender equality, but how to surpass that. So it's about your skill set, and it's about you feeling empowered in the room, regardless of your gender. But in the same time, recognizing that you are a woman and you've got a place in the world. And we sometimes have to fight a little bit for that space, but you own it, it's yours. Yes, so I've been very fortunate to be part of an organization that thinks like that in a male-dominated industry. And again, this is part of where a very big part of our organization is considering what our culture is. And we're very, very strong on respect, on gender, or just equality, full stop. And you'd find that people who work within our organization, they speak about this. They speak about respect. They understand the importance of respect. They understand the importance of adaptability as well, which is where we are in the world now. We're needing to adapt. And unfortunately, as I said, that we have had amazing women who've come to us, and they've entered the market in a male-dominated industry, and we're very, very happy and proud to be supporting them.
Yeah. And, you know, sometimes the transformations are not overnight. You have people that are very used to things being done a certain way, and you're altering their foundation, you know? But like you were sharing with me, there's some days that are easier days to be at the table, and there's other days that there's some effort that's involved in that. And that's what I see with Hera. Hera is about bringing light to women, and they're not being separated based on their gender, but truly bringing the gift that they bring, you know, whether it's, you know, a skill set, whether it's, you know, whatever it is about them, being able to have it shine, which is called Hera, the light of women. And practical, you know, like one of the reasons I brought up the story about you is like, you know, most people would say, oh, this is her husband's company. Of course they listen to her. You know, of course they do it the way she wants it done. But
No, it's not that easy. It's not, I think regardless of, I mean, and it's again also what a culture that I like to encourage as well. It's one where you earn your seat at the table, and just that you're given a fair shot at it. And yes, so no, it isn't taken for granted that I am obeyed or supported, because I have I'm a director of the company as well, but I've earned my seat at the table, and I expect that male or female within the organization, that you do the same as well. And yes, so we have to, get our tools together, stand up and say, this is my place, it's my space, and I'm going to own it.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of these discussions as well I find that it spills over both ways into trauma therapy as well, and into I've worked with a number of marginalized communities over the years, where women have lost their voice, whether through trauma or through big experiences, or just through some of their life choices, which is a very important word that's very important to me, choices, or through some of their life choices may have lost their voice, lost their strength. And I have been on a journey in life where, whether it's working in the company with my husband, whether it's working as a therapist, whether it's being part of the projects that I have designed and executed, but in helping or supporting women to be guided to find their power, to find their voice, to find their strength, and then to find their choices. Hence the book was actually motivated by the work I'd done over the last 2 decades. And this is my book. It's called, it's going to be out next month, called A Lioness Heart: Find Your Purpose, Find Your Path. And in speaking of the lioness heart, we think of that mother who leads her tribe and leads her pride across the savannah plain, not knowing what's in front of her, not knowing how she's going to feed her tribe every day, but having that confidence and that knowledge that she did it yesterday, that empowers her to go on to the next day. And I see this is where, again, Hera connects as well. The light of the woman stepping forward, step by step, knowing that she has this responsibility of her people, this responsibility of her children, the responsibility of even her partner, that she has to carry these through with value, knowing where she's going to go, or not, even if not knowing where she's going to go, but knowing that she has the confidence to keep moving forward. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. And, I think sometimes women, we just take things for granted, it's just part of who we are. Someone needs something, we jump right there. We don't even think about it, which is great. Don't think, just be you. And it is those moments of also, we need the inspiration, like we need that effort of like one more step or 2 more steps that can take you beyond that challenge, that problem, and that empowerment. And that's where I see Hera City, women contributing to women. Well, we have men that are part of Hera and Hera City, and being able to, like you said, have a community that is there to contribute to you. We have a whole program with the youth, and the youth being leaders and being part of that conversation. So it's no longer thinking you're alone and you're the only one who has to do for you and your family, or for your clients, or for whoever it is that you're whatever you're doing, but that you are supported and someone has your back. I've had lots of different things in my life, and there's moments where I just not giving up got me to that next place. There are moments where life can take over and it's craziness. And, we need that extra support. We need that extra knowing that someone's there for us. So, I'm just curious, like, if you looked at the Hera of today and the future, what does that look like?
And you used a word there that I think is really, really important. Curious. And I think curiosity is the greatest education we could actually share with people in our community or our children. Curiosity and empathy. And I see a space where curiosity, not just gender, but curiosity with the environment, curiosity for the for growth, for development, for marginalized community, curiosity for culture, real curiosity, and real curiosity as in silencing that inner voice, that one that says it should be done like this, it's done like this, I want it like this, it is like this. Silencing, because sometimes what we think we know stops us from learning more. And that's what I feel I would like to see the most, or I hope to see the most, a space of curiosity, a space where we ask the questions, a space where we share our views, but we listen all intently to the voices of the younger people, to the voices of the mothers, to the voices of the people who have faced great adversity in life. And how could we learn from those challenges and struggles to ensure that we evolve as a society where they're not repeated, or the good one, or the good or the good messages are repeated. So that's how I see the ethos of what I would like to see in a future ethos of a city that's created in honor of the woman. And and curiosity, empathy, and determination.
You know, what's interesting is that most of us as kids, that's who we are.
So true.
I keep reminding my clients to remember when you were 3 years old.
That child inside.
It's the child wonder.
Yeah.
You know, and if something didn't work, you went a different direction until it did, or you're willing to bring some pots and pans out and make some music. You didn't require it to look a certain way. But, you know, we learn through others, we learn through society to start to give up what we know, but to do it like everyone else. But one of the greatest gifts is you being you. Is unique. There's no one like you in the world. Not even a twin sister is, or a twin brother is you. And having that shine. And, you know, when I think about the city, like you were talking about, that whole intergenerational component of what's going to be in the city and the tools, the resources, the marketplace, the way that people can engage with each other, it is truly what our world should be like today, but unfortunately isn't. And kind of bringing that in one place in a country, like,
amazing.
I don't know, that gets me so excited.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very, very exciting. Very excited to be part of this as well.
Yeah. So in your own words, like, what action can women take to help other women around the world?
Well, I feel with women, we can develop such great camaraderie. And I think always, first of all, you be the friend you want your friend to be to you when it comes from the level of friendship. So if you think, what do I need from my friend? I need empathy, perhaps. I need to feel understood. I need to feel that my place in the world is valid. And I'd like to think that you would empower me to find my voice so I can sing my own song and I can share my own message. And when I think of women and women being empowered, I think for the next generation, one of the most important things is we educate our children and we create that gender neutrality in this generation, so that the household chores are not being done only by the girl. Empower your boys to do the household chores as well. Empower your sons to be the men who are able to receive the strong and powerful women of the next generation, so that they're both being educated, not just as men and women, but as humans. Because I think the time is coming now, Laleh. The time is coming. The platform's being leveled, and our men and our boys and our boy children and our sons need to be as ready for it as our daughters and the women and the girls of the next generation. So yeah, so I think it's really us being prepared to speak using the language where we understand that there is going to be a world of equality. We need to use the right language. We need to think of our acceptance of the world. We need to think, what do we want for ourselves? And how could we be that person for others? And I think that's where empathy is a very big part of it as well. Understanding and education, curiosity. And most importantly, I think if each one of us found our gift, spent our life with curiosity, finding our gift or our gifts, I mean, not the uniqueness of us as human beings does not mean we need to have one gift, but finding our gifts and then finding a way to give it away.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was beautifully said. And I am so looking forward to just the magic of Hera City.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
the city hasn't been built yet. There's a few countries, as of us today, there's a few countries that are very interested. And, you know, the city physically may not be built, but it's already here. The
It's
energy
here.
here
It's here. It's all around us.
is so, like, vibrationally, like, boom, 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 boom. And you know, as you were describing here, I see that in so many places in the world where we are starting to look at us, you know, look in the mirror and start to actually be grateful for us, you know, which is something that no one teaches us growing up. And allowing your difference, your unique shine, where you know, my generation was a little different, but like for most generations, it was hide your difference. Be like everyone else, be normal, be like everyone.
Yeah. Fit in.
Doing it. And for
Yeah.
me, I mean, you know, there's best practices to bring into businesses and stuff, but no, one of the things that I actually personally teach is be you and the uniqueness of you. And that whole thing about the generations and the ages and the genders, like, what if, like you said, being at the table no longer look like, how old are you? What is your sex or anything else?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
truly, whoever is bringing those gifts to the table is at the table and no longer separating based on their gender. And I always say, women, we need to actually speak for us.
Yeah, I think it's so important as well. We feel inspired by the women. Inspiration, I think, is probably the biggest word that has led me to where I am in my life. And I'm only on a journey. I'm not where I'm ending. I'm on a journey, but inspiration is what takes me everywhere. And I think when you sometimes as a woman, you see something in another woman and you think, it's a little scary. Do some self-inquiry and ask yourself why. Why is it scary? What are they presenting to me that I think, is it because I'm lacking or I'm missing this? Is it something that I want? Is there something about this person or woman or person or be it that I admire? And when you do that self-inquiry, you would usually find there is something about them that you admire. And how can you use that admiration to inspire the next chapter of your life? And yeah, so we all need to be inspired, and we should find inspiration in everything around us and everyone around us.
Yeah. You know, it's really funny. One of the tools that I share in my business is when you see something in someone, whether it gets you enthusiastic, wanting to connect, just know you notice that because it's somewhere within you, whether you like it or not. And if you flip it,
Mhm.
most of us go into that's wrong, that's a judgment, it's bad.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you take that situation just for a moment, say, okay, if I flipped it, what is the possibility here?
What is? Yeah.
Can utilize this for to create something greater. And
Mm.
when we do it from that space, though, we no longer judge, but like
Yeah.
we are grateful, we admire. You
Mm.
allow
We're
you
curious. We're curious. Be curious.
to.
Break your own mold. I saw someone wrote something the other day, and they were like, with Kamala Harris. I hope she's wearing some good shoes because she's broken so many glass ceilings. We should all be thinking how to break those glass ceilings, not just for ourselves, but for others. And when we see others breaking it, we need to look up and admire it because it's there for us as well. They're creating a little space for us to look through also.
Mhm. See, that's the thing most people don't recognize. When one person chooses, they open up the doors and the pathways, and now it's available for everyone.
Yes, yes,
It
it's
does,
there.
but now it's open and available. You
Yeah,
willing to choose that you will have that and stop
yeah.
resisting.
Mm. Choice. There we go again. Choice. That really important word, choice.
Choices. Genevieve, thank you so much for being here today. And
Oh, Laleh, thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
thank you all for watching Hera TV. And we are so excited to share this magical city with you and the other projects within Hera. There's so many different projects because each city, each country actually requires its own needs too. So if you haven't gone yet, come visit us at haracity.org and follow us and support and share. Like, how can we get the voice of Hera out into the world so every woman, every person knows that there's something here for supporting them and guiding them to that next step that they want to take. So thank you again, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Thank you.